he go for whatever. So if I wanted to move him away from this, hey, get back. Get back. So he can go anywhere except up here. We're not done yet because he has an SIT. And I'm not staring at his eyes. I'm looking kind of at his tail. And he knows exactly what's going on. No. Very curious.
He's like, oh.
Boy. Very good boy. As soon as he does the right thing, I get out of his space. So when I'm disciplining him, I'm thinking, what's my goal? All right, again, he's here. I want him away. Get back. Get back. I go between him and the thing, and I back him up where I want him to be. And then when he's still, I stay still, and I'm waiting for something. So now I got two things. Hey, get back. Good boy. As soon as he sits, I'm done. Doesn't mean he doesn't get right back up, but when you do this repeatedly and the dog recognizes that you're setting a boundary, he starts to respect it. So, for instance, in my house, if I say get back, I don't have to stand. I just say get back, and the dog does it himself. Goes and puts himself somewhere. So he's going to need quite a bit because he doesn't have any kind of natural inclination to stop.
Right.
But very passive. Do you see how he goes like that? He's processing, and he sat relatively quickly. Hey, what are you doing? So he's easy to move around too. All right, so those are all things that we can do related to chewing, related to jumping, whatever, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready to learn something right now? Let's do it. All right, so what I have in here is some dog food. And I'm gonna use a clicker. Doesn't mean we have to forever, but I'm gonna use it. Have you ever seen it done?
I haven't.
Okay, it's pretty cool. You're gonna love it. Yep, that's going to be for you. Clicker training is a method that marks behaviors. It's the clearest way a dog can learn kindly. Kindly. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first teach him, when you hear this sound, food comes. I'm going to do it several times. Tasty, right? So cute.
It's like Skinner's chickens.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yep, Skinner is a big dude in the dog training world. So the reason that this is more effective is it's always exactly the same. It's automatically consistent, and it's a novel sound. Whereas if I didn't use a clicker, my second choice would be a word, right? I would go, yes, yes. But it's coming from me, right? It's not coming from the environment, which puts the burden on me. The other thing is between you and whoever else talks to this dog, he has to tune into several different voices and timing and moods and everything else. This eliminates any kind of confusion for the dog. You ready? You're a very good boy. This is like the best Saturday I've had in a long time.
That's because you've got more love.
That must be. I don't mind working with the big bad dogs, but sometimes it's exhausting. And I just like a nice little laugh sometimes. It's nice.
Where do you get the clicker?
I'm going to give you one.
Ooh.
I am. All right, so see him look down that time? Did you notice that? No? Did you miss it? It's
I
okay.
missed it.
All right, so most dogs learn that when they hear a noise, something fell to the ground. What I want to do before I start actually, see how he's looking around?
Yeah.
He's like, where is it? I want him to know that when you hear this, food's coming from Maggie. I don't want him to look at the ground. And people take that for granted, that animals, just by nature, learn from their environment. They're not automatically tuned into human beings. We take it for granted, right? Good boy. Good. So 3 times in a row he kept his head up. I'm going to proceed. So I go a little fast because I know what I'm doing, just so you know.
Can I take a picture too?
For sure. You can do whatever you want. Ready? All right, so now I'm going to teach him something. And I'm gonna use the same method for you that I'm gonna use for him. And I'm gonna ask you what you see happening. So I'm gonna use this clicker to mark the behavior that I want. And now this food, rather than just being an associative thing, I want him to know this is a payment for a behavior that I want him to do. So of all the things that's happening, he has to pick out which thing is she paying me for. All right, so see if you can figure it out.
So he's fetching.
Kinda. Still looking at my graph, so funny. Here you go. Easy. You see what he's doing? That's weird, right?
It is weird.
What he's doing right now is the equivalent of asking a question. Like, well, what if I do this? What will happen? So what's my response to him?
I answer the question in some way.
I'm just, same thing. I didn't change anything. What I want him to know, I'm the consistent, he's the variable.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm gonna stay, and what he's gonna learn is, she definitely doesn't want me to lay down, because nothing happened. She didn't click, she didn't treat, she's still talking, and he's listening intently, which is great, only I'm not talking to him. So I'm gonna do absolutely nothing.
I've never seen him stay still that long.
Because he's thinking. And this is a beautiful, everybody wants to fill in the silence all the time and stuff. This is beautiful. Let him process. Well, I want you to see this too, how patience pays off. So I'm looking at my hand because that's what I want him to think about. So if he's looking at my face, I don't know what he gets from it, but I want him to think about my hand.
Oh,
Yeah. He is so cool. So do you know what it means when he's wagging his tail right now?
I hope it means he's happy.
Nope.
What does it
I
mean?
wouldn't say, I mean, I don't think he's unhappy, but I think what it means to me is there's brain activity. He's thinking. I don't know what he's thinking, I don't know what he's feeling, but he's thinking. So if you see each time he fidgets, his tail wags. That's a fidget. He's like, what does she want? What am I supposed to do? Is this it? Is that it? He's really into words.
yes.
Alright, so I waited. He doesn't know what to do. I'm gonna, oh, nope, I'm gonna stay waiting, because he's up now. Okay, so now I'm gonna help him. Good boy. There he is. Come on. Come on, good boy. Good dog. Go. He's a little bit inhibited.
cool.
A little bit. I don't know what it means yet, but he is. He's leery.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually getting more nervous as we go, which is unusual. But where a dog really has a lack of experience, and probably his previous owner was annoyed with him,
Oh, really?
I would think. So I'm gonna make myself smaller. Good boy. That's nice. Because I want him to be comfortable. Good boy. More. I've never seen so much eye contact. Come on, bud. He gets nervous when I lean over.
Yeah.
Good boy. That's on purpose. See how he came around the table? Everything dogs do is on purpose. Alright, so if the clicker is marking a behavior, what do you see happening when I click?
He's getting rewarded.
At the moment of the click? Here, watch. Now here comes the food. What happens at the moment I click? What is he doing?
Let me see again.
Interesting.
He's almost afraid of that,
Of the hand.
of the fist.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost afraid.
Well, most times when dogs get caged, it's because they're not behaving well, so
Right,
they get put
so
away. Most times, and I'm
wondering-
totally generalizing and guessing,
Right.
but most people are annoyed, so they put the dog away. And if the dog doesn't want to go in the cage, it's usually the hand that grabs the dog that leaves the dog
Right.
in. So we don't want that. To us, yeah. I mean, he's motivated
Yeah.
to come over, but he's also, there's a little bit of apprehension. I wouldn't even go so far as
Right.
fear. Apprehension, confusion, distrust. So we want to repair this. I want him to always want to go to you. So you notice my hand is parallel. I'm not reaching towards him. I'm inviting him into my space. It should be comforting to him. Delicious. Come on, you can do it. Good boy. So I'm using praise as encouragement. All right, so
So when he comes, the clicker's a reinforcement that,
the clicker is a tool. It's a bridge for reinforcement from the behavior to the payment. Thank you. Awesome. High five. Cool dude. He's definitely. Have you done stuff with him?
I've been trying.
Because he's been taught something, but not like I'm doing it. I want him to really, really learn it. Good boy. That was much nicer. Good boy. All right, now I'm gonna try and stand up. All right, so you're still working on this. I'm gonna keep at it until you get it. And what I'm looking for is, Bo doesn't speak English. He doesn't know what a clicker is. He knows what food is. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know what the lesson's about. He's got to figure out, of all the things that are happening here, what's the message? What's the consistent? So what's consistent is me, my hand, this one particular, the clicker and the food. So he has to figure out, which thing does she want me to do? And he's figuring it out the way I'm making you. I'm not telling you. You gotta just watch the plan. There he is. He's gonna go around the table. Yep. I wonder if he's gonna have collar issues. Good boy. And that was like, I'm gonna run away. You
Yeah.
see that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We've been putting him on a harness because he can pull pretty hard.
I would too. Did you say Easy Walk? Did you just get him one of those? I talked to somebody who just bought one and I was like, yeah, good choice. Get over here. Here he is, good boy. All right, so he responds very nicely to praisey baby talk, which is not all dogs, so that's nice to know about him. So when he's fearful, I can bring him to me with my voice. So what he's doing, if my body looks threatening in some way to him, hey you, I can soften it with my voice, and he's like, oh, okay, she's being happy, she's being nice. So that's good. Good boy. Do it again. Good boy. All right, so here's my hand. What do I want him to do when he sees this?
He's coming into your space.
He is. He's coming to me. And what is he doing specifically?
We're sitting.
When I click?
No,
It's hard, isn't it? To figure it out? It's right there. But what is it? What is he doing? Think of a verb. All right, I'm going to give you another hint too.
those
Yeah.
ones better than his honor.
No, but I do this because I want you to understand how hard it is when we do a million different things, how the dog's supposed to know what the heck we want him to do. It's actually a lot harder than we give the dog credit. All right, if I close my eyes, so watch again, I'm going to send him away with this as a decoy. It means nothing, okay? I'm going to close my eyes and do everything you're saying. How do I know that he did the behavior I want him to do?
He's touching your hand.
There you go. That one works every single time. But I don't give it away at first because I want him to feel the process. He's touching me. He's biting a little bit. That's not my goal. But I want you to know, I don't care if he sniffs. I don't care what he's doing with his eyes. I don't care if I get his tongue, his teeth, his snout, I don't care. As long as I feel him touch me, that's enough. Hey, buddy. Good boy. And eventually those teeth and everything's going to go away. He thinks I've got food in my hand and I don't. Touch it again. See it? Don't eat my pocket. Gosh, you're a funny dog. So that's all it means. So when Bo, right here, sees that hand signal, it means travel over and touch it. It's gonna become come.
And I'll be doing the same. Okay.
Yep, before I leave here. So if he goes and runs out in the yard and I say, Bo, come, good boy, that's what it's gonna look like. The reason I do this is an old school, even though they still do it, but it's old. They do this kind of thing. Bo, come! And they do some sort of weird hand signal, and the dog travels over to his owner, sits right in front of him, and then he gets a reward. What's the last thing he did before he got the reward in this scenario that I'm talking about?
And the one you're talking about?
In the old school.
He just comes
And does what? Comes over,
and sits.
and then the food goes in his mouth. What did he get rewarded for?
Sounds like sitting.
Sounds like it a lot. Sounds like it a whole lot. How can a dog who has the intellect of a maybe 2-year-old child, 3-year-old?
MRIs show 3 years old.
All right, a 3-year-old child, how can he decipher which thing is getting rewarded? Because it happened when the food went in, right? So it's very possible that all of these wonderful steps don't count in the old way. So I want him on all fours because I don't want him to think sit is the same as come, because it's totally not. So you imagine he's got a squirrel. You imagine his front paws are halfway up that tree and he's got a squirrel, and you say come, and he's like, sit? I don't want to sit, I got a squirrel right here. Can you imagine? I mean, it just doesn't even make any sense. You're asking the dog to go into a passive mode when he's hunting. But if you say, Bo, yeah, come, and he's conditioned to touch the hand, that means travel over here and do this very specific behavior. It works like a charm. All right, the other thing it does is if he is here, he's not jumping, correct? So you imagine if you walk in the door and he runs over to you and you know you're about to get nailed, you drop your hand, he's gonna stay on the ground for you. So what you're gonna do is instead of allowing Bo to make a choice, you're gonna direct his behavior before he's wrong, okay? So you're gonna put it down here, which is gonna keep him down. And you might have to do it 5 times as you walk in the house, or keep doing it and doing it. Eventually you won't have to at all, because he's gonna learn it. The other thing it does, like say he's on the couch and you don't want him on the couch, you get off the couch, you drop your hand, it brings the dog to you.